Hello everyone! Welcome to Badass ABCs for Adults by Happiness Homemade for You. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel and for liking us on Facebook. This is lesson number 1. Get ready to learn the letters of the alphabet. This is lesson C1, capital C, lowercase c. C is for camel toe. CAMELTOW. Let's get started with the first part of our alphabet identification lesson, where we're going to learn the shape of the letter C. Let's get scrolling here. Here is the letter C in our steampunk style. This is an excellent example, nice and clear, of the letter C. So let's see what else we've got in here. The C from the coloring sheet, which is available for free on the Facebook page. C. C is for car. C is for camel toe. And before we go further, since we're going to have this for our cocktail, the Camel Toe cocktail, I want to explain for those who are taking the Badass ABC lessons, who are doing these lessons with us, if you are not in the United States, you may be unfamiliar with this term, which is kind of a raunchy term. How do I describe it? So everybody else here in the United States is laughing at me. We have a camel and a toe on a camel. Now, the word toe is spelled differently. It's like a human toe. It's spelled T-O-E. This cocktail that we're going to do for lessons, all through lessons C, is spelled T-O-W. So it's a play on words because the restaurant where you get this can't really put camel toe spelled T-O-E. Because in the United States, a camel toe is a slang term for when a woman is wearing pants and the seam of the pants is so tight that you can see her particular private goodies, and that is called a camel toe. So it's an embarrassing thing, or some women might choose to do that on purpose. But anyway, that has to be explained before we move on, that this is a joke, and you don't want to be just talking about a camel toe just to anybody, okay? Unless you are clearly stating that you are talking about this lovely cocktail, which is called a camel toe, and is only available at the Hukilau restaurant in Florence, Oregon. So put it on your to-do list, your bucket list, to have a camel toe in the future at the Hukilau restaurant. All right, so we'll get back to the lesson. Thank you for that little divergence in order to honor our alcohol. Here we go. Coming back, now we're going to go through these fonts. We're going to start right off with this calligraphy one. I like starting off with the calligraphy font because it is so complicated. Now, certainly calligraphy is very pretty once it's all written out on invitations, etc. But it is our most difficult font that I picked so that you can really look for what that shape is. Let me see. Is there a C in Pacific? Here we go. Yeah. Hukilau has a C in Pacific Fusion. There's the letter C. Here's our letter C, all fancified for calligraphy. All right, let's scroll through them and make sure that we can see that shape. Capital C, lowercase c. Thankfully, it's the same looking shape. Our psychedelic C. Here we go, our deck of cards C. C. Disco ball C. I hope you guys can see that. Disco ball C. Let's see. Then I think it won't let me go to the next picture if I do that. Okay, let's fix it. Where are we at? Disco ball C and pink C. Art Deco C. See how they truncated it? Our Art Nouveau C. And lastly, for those of you who are kinesthetic learners, how to sign the letter C is you actually make the shape of the C with your hand as if you're picking up a cup, which also starts with C. So that's the end of the first part, just introducing us to this shape. Now let's get over to the second part of our lesson, which is going to be practicing writing the shape of the letter C. Be right back. Here we go, second part of our lesson, practicing writing the letter C. Again, these worksheets are all available on the Facebook page for free, Happiness Homemade for You. And we are on the letter C, A, B, C. So let's start out with the big one. Remember, you can grab a piece of paper, a plain piece of paper at home and practice, or if you've got nothing, get your hand in the air and start making those brain connections. Moving your body and thinking, that's two different sides of your brain, so get them connecting and getting this information stuck in there. Letter C, you start at the top and go around. So let's look for this shape. Here it is, starting at the top and going around. Around. See how it's, here's the tippy top, but it's a little bit more than that. And our lowercase c, thankfully C is one of those letters that's got the lowercase as the same shape. Come here and go around. And we're going all the way around. And here's our Art Nouveau style. And you see how I was just talking a moment ago about, here's the tippy top. Like when we did the letter B, you go from the tippy top, but the letter C is a little bit further. So you want to start thinking as we go through the letters of the alphabet, what you want to describe in your mind as to how to remember the shape. For example, with B, I kept saying bump, bump, and that's just how it sticks in my mind. But how are you going to tell yourself how to remember this shape? So we're going to start over on the right, curve around. There's our letter C. Okay, and let's see, do I get to save this one? Yes, I believe so. We'll save this, and let's practice again and see if anything comes into our mind on how we want to remember how to draw the letter C. Oops, I opened it the wrong way. Okay. Let's see, I've got contractors coming today, so I have to do my recording at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not even really awake yet. Thank you for your patience. Edit. All right, peeps, I can get there. All right, grab a marker and make it nice and bright. Here we go. Letter C. Coming over to the edge and swing it round. I don't know. What am I gonna, I don't know what I tell myself for the letter C. I don't know, swing it around. Starting, you see how when we get to the letter O, you'll see that the letter O is a complete circle. Circle starts with a C. So it's not quite a circle. Come on around. Swing your partner round and round. Here's our disco. Swing it around. Swing it around, letter C. Here we go. Look at how funky they did this. Right at the top. Swing it around. Look at how this one went and had some fun with the edge here. Swing it around. Okay, there's the letter C. Let's fine-tune writing the letter C in our handwriting worksheet. Let me save this and close. Okay. And grab our marker. Color it and zoom in so that you can all see it better. Okay, now, oops, and when we zoom in, I gotta go and decrease the size of my marker. There we go. Okay, so what I can tell you about my students when they were learning how to write, and remember, they don't, they really, the first, second grade students, they've only been on the planet 5, 6 years. So they don't know, they don't have the fine motor skills, meaning they haven't had to move their hand in doing fine detail work. So if writing is brand new to you, if you haven't been doing, fine motor skills, I can say that the letter C is a little bit tricky for quite a few kids, right, when they're learning how to write. And I think it's because it is close to a circle. It is not a natural human-born skill to draw a perfect circle like you're going to have to do in the letter O. And this is almost all the way to a full circle. So it's all right. It's going to be messy for a while, okay, and you'll get with the groove. So here we go. This is a Danielian font, and we are going to start over to the right and swing it up to the top. Take our partner round and round and come back before completing a complete circle. And here we have the lowercase c. We've discussed this many times. The difference between capital and lowercase is often going to show a letter that is smaller than the capital letter. So in this case, the shape is exactly the same for capital and lowercase. It's going to be the size. Let me prove that point to you. If I were writing without my guidelines, and I'm just writing on a piece of paper that has no lines on it, and I want to write a capital C and a lowercase c, the way that we convey that to the reader is by making it half the size. So this worksheet is, when you print it out, if you find that you like to write smaller than the lined paper, feel free to use this and go halfway and eyeball it. So here we go. Thankfully, only one shape to learn on the letter C. I'm going to come and swing it around. Let's do 2 of these together. Nice and tall. Letter C. Ooh, look, I slanted the completely wrong direction. And a lowercase c. All right. 2 more times. Swing it around. And swing it around. There we go. All right, well, let's see what happens with the cursive C. Let's see what's going to happen. Anything different? What do you guys think? Is anything going to be different? Like it was with the lowercase b? Nope, not really. Score. Score. Thank you, letter C, for being so cool. Okay, now let me see. Do I have a marker? Green it. And since we're going to zoom in, I need to make it smaller. And now let's zoom in. Okay, cool. All right, so the capital letter C is exactly the same as the print. Come on up. Oh, I made it pretty big. But that's why we have a worksheet, and if we use a pencil, we can erase. Let me try it again. Capital C. All right. My mistake made me wonder, if I do a C like this, is it a letter C? What do you think the difference is? It needs to be proportional. Try to keep it in proportion. Okay, this looks more like a turtle head. Okay, no, excuse me. We won't go down that road. All right, try to keep it proportional, even if I'm not noticing everything that you're noticing. You know, pay attention to what the differences are. And the letters, the lowercase letter C, remember all of our letters in cursive connect to each other. So we're going to start at the bottom and come to that starting point over here. Start at the bottom. Then we're going to go back to what we know from writing the print C. Can I think of a word that has? Only because I'm tired, I can only think of one word with a capital and a lowercase. Okay, so if I was going to start a sentence, I'm going to do an example. If I was going to start a sentence with the word calculate, watch how long it takes me to write this. Here's my lowercase c. I'm just going to get sloppy here at the end. Calculate, and let go. Calculate. That's so sloppy. All right, but I got my letter C in the capital, and I swung around to a lowercase. And that's why we start at the bottom. Okay, let me fix that. 1, 2, 3, how many? All right. Now, let's practice it 2 times together, and we are ready to wrap it up. All right, in cursive, starts with capital C, exactly like print, lowercase c. All right, and 2 more. Capital C. Starting at the bottom, we're going to go to that starting point and swing our partner around and around. There we go. There's our 2 practice runs, and save that, baby. Close it out, and we are going to see you in, let me see. I wonder if this will open. Let's see. Right? Yeah. Okay, so lesson 2, cuss word of the day, phoneme boot camp. Come on back, and we're going to learn the sounds that the letter C makes. There are a few different sounds that it's going to make. So we'll see you in lesson 2. Rock on. Thank you for watching Badass ABCs by Happiness Homemade for You. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P,